Tater's Tuesday. Eventually.
Cold and sleepy morning.
A bunch of scary noises this morning. And not enough coffee. Ooh, hey, morning hair. It's Tater's Tuesday. No dialogue, all giggling. You want to know anything about our hike? Nope. Just gonna giggle.
I'm waiting to talk until I'm on the trail and you won't interrupt me.
That has nothing to do with the fact you've been stressing for the last day of, oh no, it's Tater's Tuesday. For the record, I do not interrupt. I provide additional insightful commentary. I enhance. Such a supportive partner. We actually had a relatively chilly night last night. I was able to actually get inside of the sleeping bag, which is good because it further contains all the aromas that may be coming off of certain things that have not bathed for 3 weeks. And this is what happens when you don't pre-filter and you have bad water sources. That is literally the extent of the flow we can get out of this right now, despite attempts to backflush. It is shot, and we need new filters in Butte.
Here's the morning water fill up. We're gonna be high and dry for the first 11 or so miles this morning, so we're each gonna be carrying 1.5 liters of water. When you get water from the little streams like this, there's a lot of stagnant pools. I basically found the one little spigot spot that was flowing enough to collect. When you collect from sources like this, it's really hard to avoid getting little pieces of dirt and algae in there. And the last couple days we had a handful of sources that were like this, especially the one night before last where there was a little spring and a pond beside the trail. I think that or one of the others might have been what clogged up our filters so good. This time I filled carefully and seemed to do pretty good on minimizing the dirt and algae, but I did get this little critter in there. Today is going to be the end of what's been a really nice 2 weeks section of continuous hiking. It's been 2 weeks since we had to go into East Glacier, and that means 2 weeks since we've just been able to walk without having to go into town or get off trail at all.
And here is Tater's talking about how she starved me for 2+ weeks.
2 cups of coffee, 1 cup of tea.
It's more that there's nachos coming. Come on. After 2 weeks of starvation diet, I get food. Look at this, wasting away. My butt is merely large and rotund, not massive.
The plan today is to hike about 17 miles.
Food!
17 miles of hopefully good trail.
And then she showers. So we think very differently. Like me, it's all about getting into town. I want nachos. I want to shower. I want her to get to shower. So it's like, I don't need to brush my teeth. I don't need to put in sunscreen. I don't really have to wipe after I go dig a cat hole. We're going into town. We'll deal with it there.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, the plan today is we are going to hike about 17 miles to get us to the Elk Park exit of the 15, where we're going to hitch a ride into Butte. Matt is generally happy to go into town because of being able to get lots of fresh food and restaurant food. But I tend to look at it more as like when you're on vacation and you have to pause for a day to answer a bunch of work calls or something. It's a necessary chore. You've got to do it every once in a while to keep the hike going. But it's always a downer having to break up your hike and deal with all the things that you get to escape by being out here.
It is just a beautiful day out here, despite the bit of smoke still in the area.
The trail makes a big wide semicircle around to the east side of Butte, so you have different options as far as how you access it. There's 3 main access points on the north, east, and south side of Butte. And looking at how the distances were dividing up for us, we thought it made the most sense to come in once from the north and then again from the south. Today, this is going to be our first one coming in from the north, and we're gonna get a hotel and take care of some of the longer term stuff, like getting a package from the post office, laundry, charging all the batteries. Then we'll carry about 3 days of food to get us around the 70 miles around the east side of Butte until we meet back up with the 15 on the south side. And then at that point, we're gonna try to do a really quick resupply there. That'll be either a food drop at where the trail crosses the 15 if we can work it out. Otherwise, we'll hitch in, just hit the Walmart, buy 6 days of food, and hitch back out and get back on trail.
So you remember how on the ECT there was this curse where whenever I went to a place, it seemed like the Mexican food was closed? So there was a Mexican food place by the hotel that we're going to be staying at today, which is closed on Tuesday.
Oh, it's okay. We can go there on Wednesday.
I don't want to eat Wednesday. I want to eat now.
Hey, more trail magic. Second cooler on the trail. Based on the sign in here, it looks like most of the folks that were ahead of us choose to go to Anaconda, which that's what we figured.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Yay! We get it to ourselves. Wilderness!
They're missing out.
And once again, the cows are closing in on us. Oh, he's eyeing you. He may have heard me talking about a carne asada burrito. And our nice little trail is taking a road route out to the 15. Okay, yes, we are on a road, which is why we were not going on the Anaconda section. However, we are going through cow fields, not past Montana's largest psychiatric facility and an adult correction facility.
Hey, there's an alternate that goes around those now, right?
No, they just kick hikers off the property of the psychiatric facility. It's not an alternate, they just make you walk around the property. See, I don't think I naturally need less sleep than you, because I'm always tired. It's just priorities. One of us walks a tad bit faster when there's an opportunity for, you know, food, nachos, coffee, beer. Okay, now we get to try and hitch into Butte from the side of Interstate 15. So in the past, our approach has been to go up the off-ramp, the thinking that they could then come down the off-ramp, stop, and pick us up. It does look like there may be Uber options, but they got to drive out of town. It's going to be like a $50 fare. And sometimes, if they don't want to drive all that way, they go out of service really quick when you try and confirm the ride. The biggest thing, of course, when you're on a big freeway like this is you have to be visible for a while, because people need time to see you, register that you're a hiker, debate with themselves if they're going to stop, and then maybe jam on the brakes. It's way easier on lower speed roads. And of course, my hitch bait back there hasn't taken a shower in like 18 days.
All right, we're on the 15. We got our good spot. Seems like it's a good time of...
Functioning well as hitch bait. Do I need to like stick my butt out more?
No, that will not help. I am cautiously optimistic. Good spot, good time of day. Who can resist that charm?
It took us about 30 minutes of sitting out in the blazing sun without getting even a second look before somebody pulled over. As it turned out, his daughter had done the PCT a few years ago, and that inspired him to become a trail angel. Instead of asking to be dropped off at the hotel or the post office or anything like that, we had priorities and asked if we could be dropped off at the one Mexican food that was open across town. We may be slightly close to exploding like the world's fattest man at the moment. Cream puff?
Finally contented?
No, I need a bathtub for that. Our new friend was so awesome, he actually insisted we take his number and text him when we were done eating, at which point he came back and ferried us over to the hotel. Our original plan had us just staying one night in Butte, but we decided this was probably the best chance we'd have for a while to actually take a break and take a zero. And we did have a fair amount we needed to accomplish while we were in town.
First stop today, after coffee and breakfast, of course, was to pick up a package that had some new shoes for both of us, along with a few other things. Unfortunately, since Matt's shoes had failed after just like 200 miles, and we ended up getting new ones for him in High Divide, I went ahead and sent his shoes forward another 300 miles or so to the small town of Leodore. And since I was sending a box there anyway, we threw in a couple dinners, a couple snacks, since the store they have in Leodore is pretty small. Next stop is the gear store. I've got some darn tough socks with holes I'm hoping to exchange, and we desperately need new water filters because they are going so slowly. It's so frustrating.
Behold the Butte hole. Somebody just had to get nachos once again. This is kind of terrifying, though. And then tomorrow we would be getting back on trail.